Hi, it's David in the stained glass studio. This is crazy. Somehow, when we were putting these two units together, we got this part upside down. So I have to take it apart so I can turn it around so I can put it right. Well, the first thing I did was I took this edge of metal off. Now I'm going to work on this one. So what you do first is you heat it up on top, and you heat it up on the bottom, and then I use pliers. Now you'll notice that on the pliers I'm only grabbing the metal halfway. If I was to grab it up here, then I run the risk of damaging the glass. So I'm just doing it halfway, and I wiggle it back and forth until it gets weak. Then I start on this end. I'm going to do the same thing. I get it hot on the top, hot on the bottom, come back on top, and start to crank on it. See what I'm doing? Going back and forth, and you see how it gets loose. Now, I can't go as far as I could on the other end because, I've got all these other joints holding it. But I can get it here, get it here. Now, kind of have to work it so that I can get it loose, and it looks like it's loose there. Come up here, same kind of thing. It's not a big deal, but it is an important method of getting it taken apart. And there it is. I brought that apart. Now what I do is I have this garbage can here. Now it's very, very loose, very weak. And I'm going to put it here. And what I did before was I just took this piece of metal and I ran it under here so that I would have support here on this trash can, because I'm going to be coming along here. I really appreciate Jeanne filming this because she's so much better at filming than I am. I seem to just kind of bounce around. Of course, then I expect when she does it that she ought to be able to bounce around with me, but she doesn't. She's slow and methodical, so you don't get a headache while you're looking at her video. See what I'm doing? I'm getting it loosened up here. I have to get enough heat so that it drops down. You see how I melt it, and then I go back over it, and see how it melts down in there? And see, so I melt it, and I melt it good. Go back down in there. Now, I could probably start to take that apart, but I want to come up to this one and take it apart first because it makes sense. That's all I can say about that. See how it just dropped right through and then dripped. It's already come off enough, so I think I can, I think I'll heat it up a little bit more. If I really, so here we go. Oh yeah, there we go. You see how it's come right off. And there it is. So see, there's the copper foil side, and see how much gunk I have on there? And here this side is clean, and we'll be able to just refoil it, and it'll work out great. So the next thing I need to do is take off the outer edge of foil here. Okay, so Jeanne is cleaning this bottom piece that has the foil removed. She's cleaning it off so that the other foil will stick really good. Did you have any comments to make about that, Jeanne?
No comments about that, just cleaning.
Okay. Okay, here she is, cleaning the second one. One thing about that, as she goes along, it's kind of interesting to see her use her rag, and then she also uses her fingernail. She just pokes that fingernail right out there and scrape it right off.
Yeah, that works.
And did you say that everybody's got one of those automatic cleaners attached to their hand?
Yeah, so you don't want to do it if you've got acrylic nails.
Oh yeah, that would probably be bad. Use a razor blade
There
on
are
it.
tools. I mean, we could use the end of the thread.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to hand this to you. Now you're in good hands with Jeanne because she'll keep it steady. And I think I may put the
Make sure it's straight. I may not have straightened it just right.
well, it was nice and even on this end, but then I looked at the other end when you said that and noticed that it needed just a little more. So we're going to just tack this, then we're going to put the zinc on. Since it's got some real waviness in it, height-wise, you know, look down at this end here. See right here? So you can see that it's off of the table. All right, so I'm gonna maybe it would be a good idea to put a couple nails down to hold this in place. All right, what am I doing here? I'll put one here to hold it. I'm putting the flat edge, and you can see that this is the flat edge because this side of the nail runs flat all the way along. And I'm putting it up against the glass just to hold it in place. Then I'm putting this and I guess I'll need a fid to spread that a little bit because it just isn't happy with the extra solder that's on there. And of course, the metal itself isn't ever happy, so maybe I should say I'm not happy with it. It's just not spread enough. And we gotta see how it just popped up over there. That's really great. So now I have to get this stuck in there. Now, now on this one, you see how I've got a little bit of a bow in here? I'm going to take this end off and bend the metal so that there's a bow to the metal. See, and then when I put it back in, it has a tendency to pull against the glass. And also when I, put this nail here, that's going to suck it up a little bit tighter. And you see how there's a little bit of foil showing right here? I'm going to do the same thing on this end. Pull it off. Get it sucked right up to the edge. See, it's not showing anymore because it's nice and tight up against that edge. Now, I'm ready to solder it back. Okay, here's one of the 6. Maybe you can hold it back farther so you can see the whole thing. Now, I'm going to have Jeannie tell you about this window and why it's significant.
Okay. Well, I had a client come in, and she had 2 big antique windows that came out of their family home. And she wanted to take it apart, and it was kind of 4 of these across with another big part on top. And she wanted me to take them all apart and make separate windows for each of her children. So they would all have a piece of Grandma's window in their home, and she wants these for Christmas presents. So
hope that her kids aren't watching the video, huh?
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's the story.
So that's what they look like properly, and somehow we just got the pointy parts turned around upside down when we were soldering them. All right, thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time.